up day. It was a little stormy there, but it's all cleared up. So, let's see what conversations come up this evening. Mostly restored 7-mile bridge, the old train tracks. Turned into car pass, old US 1, and now a foot and bicycle bridge. That was the replacement there, I think back in the 80s. But this one here, built back in late 1800s, early 1900s. Got all the locals making their afternoon runs. Welcome back, Lee. We had some issues with the weather, but it's clearing up just in time. It actually dissolved quite well. We're gonna see if we can get to the end of this bridge before we lose daylight. Gonna be cutting it close though. We got our phone cooler on now, so shouldn't have any issues as far as the screen going dark. I have a feeling, Mr. Redskin, if you had one of those, you'd be lost again out exploring the world. That'd be a little more speedy way of exploring over kayaks. Don't think I have a telescope anymore. I used to. I've had to move a few times in the past few years due to circumstances, and I think that may have been one of the things to have gone away, but definitely on a list for later on, especially for some of the places we go. Yes, life does happen all the time. It always works out though, one way or another. But definitely got a few spots that we can go to with that telescope. About another 30 miles south of here, 20 miles at least. It gets extremely dark. It's about 100 miles from Miami Lights. You are 20, 30 miles out of Key West Lights. So you get that desert clear sky. More stars you could ever imagine counting. Full Milky Way, everything. See if we get lucky today and we get some stingrays jumping or some big fish making noise. Oh, that's pretty cool. Be able to zoom in on the mountains and probably some of the craters. It's cool stuff. Well, you did a great job on that guitar. You seem to be quite handy with that stuff. And I did catch your comment later on when I got back and cooled the phone off. We'll see how we can work our animated guy, Josh, into just missing rescue boat. Maybe we'll have him talking to a crab or something. And then look up and see that the boat is there. Don't know if these locals know how lucky they are to have this in their backyard. About 2 miles of restored bridge. They do have a trolley that goes down this to go to the island. We did a live there one time. All the historical buildings are still there, and how it used to be the base camp for building the bridge. Definitely got the bicycle action and walking, and we're already a third of a mile into this. And this area here too gets fairly clear skies because, again, they're very far from the city, the big city anyway. Hoping our other friend Messi's gonna join in. I haven't seen or talked to him in quite a while now. He usually has some good comments. That's a weird topic. Yeah, you can see we don't have anything tall down here. I think the tallest point is like 90 feet up. They have a platform in Key West. It's like a lookout tower. I do know from a previous trip, just wasn't prepared for recording anyway. We were coming back from Bimini. Bimini's 60 miles from Florida, thereabouts anyway, and as soon as we pulled from the dock and got around the corner of their island, you could see the Miami city lights. Actually, Lee, you're a little creative. Maybe you got a chance. So I'm on the old 7 Mile Bridge. And on this is going to be the north side of the bridge. There's a lighthouse. Maybe you could try to figure how far away that is. I can do it later. I don't have the ability to do it right now. So many stories of back when this was a car bridge. You basically, anything of the big cars and the semi trucks, they would actually touch mirrors as they passed. It is the old 7 Mile Bridge in Marathon, Florida Keys, on the north side of it. The end of this bridge is a small island called Pigeon Key, which we learned last time. It was named that because it used to have a lot of pigeons that lived there, and they were using those for food for the guys constructing the bridges. Not their main source of food, but a source of food. think we're getting some Sahara dust coming through again in the next couple days. Unless I was seeing a outdated post. I got Mr. Redskin thinking there. Guys are out here most likely looking for tarpon. Definitely a hot spot for tarpon here off this bridge. Also got a couple of large hammerhead sharks that live out here. Can't remember the name of that lighthouse. Well, this bridge here we're on is only 2 miles to the island in the middle. The old bridge, or the new bridge, there's that newer construction there. That one's just under 7 miles from one to the other. They do a marathon there every year. And they'll do 5K, which is like halfway, and then they do the full marathon, or not a marathon, I guess, but a 7-mile bridge run. And they actually shut down US 1 for that event. There's no going in or out of Key West or Marathon for the few hours that they make that run. See if those are clouds or just haze. See if we lose the sun or not. And all these railroad ties here, the guardrails, they're all rusty. This was the old train track that ran down here from old Mr. Henry Flagler. This great idea to connect the mainland Florida to Key West, one island at a time. It was in such a hurry. This project was stopped 3 or 4 times due to hurricanes. Never stopped the man from doing it. They built this bridge from 4 directions at one time. You have the island in the middle, they work from both sides of it, and then they work from the other 2 islands. Can't really show you here, but each one of the pilings holding this up was a sailing ship full of material. So they put the new guard railing in. Underneath, they cleaned all the corrosion and rust and repainted the whole underneath this bridge. They black painted the, I guess it's blacktop, the whole top here, and put new divider lines. It was supposed to take a year, and it wound up taking several years. Loggerhead Lighthouse, good job. Loggerhead Lighthouse, right out there off the 7 Mile Bridge. There's a whole line of reefs starting up in Miami, going all the way down past Key West as a giant barrier reef. It's not the biggest one, but it's very large. A lot of national parks down here for sure. And I would assume all the lighthouses, they're ancient basically in modern terms, so I can see them all being preserves and national parks. So actually water conditions, I will take that little John boat down here. Put the registration numbers on it yesterday. Waiting on the fuel tank tomorrow. And I've got to make a few trailer modifications. Might try to use the smaller trailer for a more local excursion soon. But definitely for coming down here, we're going to need a better trailer. Well, got great scuba diving down here. What I recommend for scuba diving is make sure you had decent weather a few days before you come. Sometimes we get stormy weather, it turns up all the sand and makes the water a little cloudy, reduces visibility. But we definitely have some amazing reefs here. And some of it's only in 3 to 8 feet of water. Other stuff is down in 100 plus feet of water. Even throwing around the idea of starting a charter company, doing some sunset tours and eco tours, stuff like that. Just some stuff stirring around the back of my head with my lack of free time. Team up with a restaurant down here, maybe keep the boat there and do afternoon and evening sunset tours and cruise around looking for the animals, the manatees and the porpoise. We would have some really cool stuff for snorkeling in really shallow water. Maybe 10, 12 miles from here, you can go out maybe a half mile and still be in 4 or 5 feet of water. Not so much reefs, but a lot of grass and shelving out of rocks. You know, all kinds of animals, but you gotta be alert. I did run into probably about a 10-foot hammerhead out there one time. Went from peaceful to excitement real quick. Got a good chance of making it. Pretty cool line of storms there, but doesn't look like it's raining. Luckily the storm is blowing out that way, so we should be good. Side note, I think we got lucky with our sargassum fish bob. We're getting him to eat frozen food now. We still try to go in the canal and catch some live fish once in a while, but the convenience to be able to just take a frozen silver side and feed it to him is going to be great. This water is very glassy on this side, but then more choppy looking on this side. It's very weird. It's only about a 20-foot difference. Oh, we're almost halfway. Curious if anybody out there watching has ever been on the old 7 Mile Bridge, whether by car in the old days or just by foot. When you start thinking about what it took to make this, it was pretty intense. Construction back in the late 1800s was not an easy thing. Good call. Very might be the bridge blocking some wind. And possibly just a reflection of light, but without getting on the bridge, we can't verify. But it definitely looks different. Surprised no birds today. Usually we get some ospreys, pelicans. Might be too hot for them. A little blue crab. Where is he? Can we get him? There he is. The blue crab trying to not be dinner. The rough life of a crab. I don't know if you can hear the music or not in the background. Gotta talk over it, but that's that boat way over there, playing himself some Michael Jackson. We have made it the halfway mark. Definitely not a bad way of getting our steps in for the day. They are not fun with those pinchers. They're like little scissors for sure. I'm probably equally scared of a blue crab pinching and cutting as a stone crab crushing and breaking. Those stone crabs don't mess around either. The blue crabs, they get feisty and they can swim. At least the stone crab, he stays on the ground. So many islands to go explore around here. And the further you go out, the more there are. Going that way is just open water to the Bahamas. Maybe, I think Cuba's down that way. A few of the guys, they'll take their boats from here, maybe a little further north, and they'll make long runs to the Bahamas. I used to have an old acquaintance of mine. He was a tournament fisherman, and some of the tournaments they'd run from Miami over to the Bahamas and back in the same day. He used to burn about $2,000 worth of fuel in a day. Now you want to go treasure hunting. Metal detector and scuba gear. We got the metal detector, done some stuff on the beaches. I need to dig it out again on one of our next beach trips. Go way back in the videos to some of the beginning stuff. I actually found what I thought at the time was an authentic coin until we cleaned it up a little bit, and on the bottom it said copy. It was heartbreaking. I thought we literally struck gold, or at least silver, but we struck a copy. I think the best I've found with the metal detector are some fishing lures, some sinkers. Did find a silver dime. Did find a silver dime one time. I didn't quite lose the necklace because we felt it fall, or I felt it fall, because the clasp broke. I had actually years and years and years ago, we were doing the knee boarding and tubing and stuff out in the bay, and I lost an ice watch. We used to have an event down here called Columbus Day Regatta. It was supposed to be all about sailboats doing a sailing regatta celebration of Columbus Day. Then it turned into a giant boat party, which turned into a trash cleanup on the following Monday because whatever they had on the boat wound up in the water. Sunglasses, TVs, barbecues. People running over their boat's anchors. It was sad, all the destruction that humans did out there. but the party was amazing while it was going on. Well, I appreciate the efforts there. There goes lunch. As long as we get the clouds to stay like that, we're gonna have a nice evening. Very rarely get disappointed by a sunset in the Keys. West Coast Florida, Fort Myers area, get a little more orange skies for some reason. Great, but still. Ooh. Somebody's feeding out there. Either the big hammerhead or the tarpon. So at one point here we're shallow. A little bit too much reflection on the phone. Well, we actually have a bunch of the fish here, big jacks. Big jacks. See if I can get ahead of them. Oh, tarpon. So basically the same ones we were seeing them feed down in Key West and at Robbie's. And that's what most of the boats are here looking for. Those were probably medium large, and then they do get bigger than that. Got a little bit of color this evening. See what we can see here. Just some old debris. Need to do this during the middle of the day when we got direct sun overhead. We do have some big coral heads here. Most likely like a brain coral. That coral stuff is kind of the foundation of all of South Florida. All our limestone and coral rock sometimes. Might have some more stuff here.
Sharks, huh?
Sharks too, huh? Let's see what he sees. Appreciate it. Is he going to the right? We might have missed him. The day of sharks. kind of see one of the pilings there. Actually, I think you got some sushi sea urchins on the pilings. Oh, and a cushion star, a Bahamian star. I don't think you're allowed to fish on this bridge. They do fish along the edge of it, and they still have several of the other old bridges on the way down. But this one here, they have turned into basically a walking and bicycling bridge. All these stripes you see look like trails are from where people came through in their boats, not really realizing how shallow it is, and the propellers tore up the grass. It'll take it years and years to grow back. Lots of people came through here. Well, there's our pelican. I haven't even seen a Segway down here in Miami in a long time. Long time. I know for a while we were playing with them at Disney World when we go there. They had trials for them and tours. But really only seen bicycles, walking, jogging, and they have their one Jeep that comes through as a replica train for the tours to Pigeon Key. Let's see if we got enough daylight when we get there to check out the bottom structure when we get to the island. If you're into wild ocean life and wildlife here, it's very easy to get distracted on this bridge, especially when the water is semi-calm like it is now. Mr. Redskin, I think you're getting close to your 50 count. I think you can go live when you get to 50. You think about doing some live video stuff, or are you going to stay with just your production editing? Great evening here on the old 7 Mile Bridge. And the clouds look like they might be behaving for our sunset. For the second time when we get down there, I may just start walking backwards, keeping the sun in scope. Absolutely, you just can't do copyrighted stuff. But I believe, check into it, I think at 50 subscribers is the first hurdle. And you can start going live. I personally love the feature. When I first started, you had to have 1,000 to do anything. There was no entry level anything. Some more of the damage by the boaters. These other ones are more natural pockets that the currents have eroded away. And the cool thing about those is there'll be little ledges there, fish and lobster and stuff. So you can kind of see how that water goes from maybe a foot deep, then it just drops down behind it. The currents pull the sand from underneath it. A friend of mine, he's even another level above me. He just got one from like a year and a half ago. And it was from the company that actually commented on his video and gave him permission. They forgot. So he's trying to get a letter of forgiveness to get it taken away. We're almost to Pigeon Key. A little bit more color coming in the sky. A seagull going overhead. Some more active things out here. You'll have the stingrays jumping out of the water. One thing I wish they would change a little bit is making the video a little more stable while zooming in. Oh, I don't know if you caught that or not. We're talking about the stingrays jumping and something just jumped. The wildlife down here definitely does not work on a script. They appear when they want to appear. Why they do it. We don't know if they're looking for stuff, playing, maybe scratching parasites off of them. And a lot of the islands down here are man-made. This water was just deep enough, it didn't make sense to do it, but most of the waterways were shallow enough that it was more logistic to dig trenches on each side of the new island for fill. And thus, if you ever come down here, you can look off the side of most of US 1 and see there's deep water on both sides of the road because they use that fill to make the island. Getting a little bit more orange. Was trying to use a stabilizer earlier, and the stabilizer does not like the cooling fan. It was too much weight for it, and after about a minute and a half, it would collapse. So do apologize for any of the shakiness of the walking. because it looks like it might be working for consistency on the channel. Any input's gonna be great from y'all. We're definitely putting in more hours, but it looks like the new system is working. As always, we are open to suggestions from any of the viewers on places to go in South Florida. South Florida stuff I can get to there and back in the day, so it's usually not an issue. Still curious what happened to our friend Messy, VFX Messy. He used to join in. Maybe he's on summer break somewhere. He definitely has some cool comments once in a while. Imagine your driveway being 2 miles long. You're definitely not getting any solicitors coming up the driveway. Anybody coming up the driveway is going there on purpose. Looks like maybe some pelicans playing in the water. Let's see what's going on up here. .8. At least the temperature's finally cooling off now. The sun's going down. A stingray, maybe? No, maybe debris. I think that one tricked me. Get a better view of this area in the middle of the day because the sun's pointing straight down. Got another starfish. Those things are so cool. Probably about the size of a basketball. They're prepping themselves for the night. First time it's been this calm for me in quite a while. Some of the weirdest stuff you find sometimes. There's a cement mixer. Blew in most likely from Irma. And it just stayed there. Those guys are just chilling out after a long day of fishing. They do summer camps and stuff here too. Bring the kids out here, do their educational summer tours. Pigeon Key. Home base now to the park that's here, but was originally for the construction workers building the bridge. I think they have constant power here now, but that was the generator house. And actually they still have a backup generator in that trailer there. If you ask me, would not be a bad place to hang out and live. Guess we got another generator here. Primary generator and a backup one on a trailer. So most of these structures are in their original positions and just been fully overhauled over the years. But I believe this one here, yellow with a silver roof, it is mostly original. I think that was one of the room cabins where they had like bunk beds and stuff, if I remember correctly. So we did a whole tour on it. It's a pigeon on Pigeon Key. Well, speaking of Bridge to Cuba, that is what they call a chug. So that's one of the boats that made it here from Cuba. Oh, it's looking good. They got their Christmas tree up early. Definitely more bright in person. Florida Keys Christmas tree. See how I can get this so I can stabilize the phone. Oh, it's turned out better than I thought. Got here just in time. I think at this time it'd probably be pretty cool because it's not as intense going through all the atmosphere. Find some way of mounting the phone to the telescope. I know there's a guy who does it for stars and the moon. He somehow got his video feed, or he's got the camera attached to the telescope. Last few minutes before another 2-mile walk back. Kind of see a couple islands on either side of the sun. Definitely gonna be essential for doing a video. You can kind of get away with doing a picture, but the video you definitely need to have a mount. I'm the old Lifesaver commercial. Going, 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 gone. Definitely no green flash tonight, I don't think, but let's see. Too much clouds in the background. There she goes. All right, y'all. Appreciate everything. And if you keep going that way, is the bridge that was filmed with True Lies. When Arnold drives the limousine or something off the bridge into the ocean, it was on that bridge right there. Oh, I hope that rain stays over there. All right, I'm gonna cut this a little short. I'm gonna try to hustle back a little bit to hopefully avoid this storm that I see coming in. I see the wall of water. Wish me luck, everybody. Until the next one. Appreciate everybody out there. More fun in the future. See you on the next one.